Hey everybody, how you all doing? It's been a little while since I've been on here. I've just come back from a 4-day retreat in Norway, in Oslo, Norway. And I wanted just to share some reflections from, what I see over the 15 years or more that I've been holding events, and how I see people change, I see myself change. And I see that more and more that this is both about waking up and waking down. It's both about awakening to our true being, our true consciousness, which is beyond this persona. But it's also about individuating into this, into being the one that we're meant to be. And neither side can be left out. And right now I'm feeling more and more to explore the waking down journey, because I assume a lot of people have woken up. I could be, I could be wrong about that. I probably am wrong about that. But that's where I am drawn to explore myself more and more at the moment. And some of the themes that I want to really look at are, around self-betrayal, and how we abandon or betray ourselves just in day-to-day life, how that can happen, and how we can notice what happens in our body when we do that. And we can notice the after effects, maybe the later that day or in the evening or the next day, how that impacts us when we're not true to ourselves. And ultimately, I think this whole exploration of truth, of what's going on here, is ultimately to be true to oneself on both the absolute and relative levels. And that often includes incorporating parts of ourselves that we have abandoned, forgotten, repressed, denied, pushed away, deemed as being unspiritual, deemed as, not being good enough, or that other people would judge us for that, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, let's bring all of that out of the shadows and into the light of consciousness. And in order to do that, we've got to have the journey that comes down and through. We've got to have the journey deep into the body, deep into the gut, deep into the shadow, deep into the unconscious. Because without that, we may recognize who we are beyond, but we will not be able to live that in the day-to-day exploration of our life. And I know, that I've been able to give beautiful talks and beautiful retreats, and I've felt really blessed that I do have this gift of being able to speak about this subject, and yet at times I haven't been fully embodied in myself. And it's only been the last few years where this has become more and more and more important to me, that I've truly been able to embody the waking down part of the journey, which is really also about the healing of trauma, and the willingness to sort of come out of this sort of spiritual trap, this spiritual persona where we just abide as the self and we don't include our humanness. So yeah, this is the passion for me now. This is really what I feel to speak to more and more and more. Yeah, there's stuff coming up. There's focus groups coming up. There's, if you're in Sweden, I'm having some meetings in Sweden, in near Angsbacka, which many of you know, and also maybe some further retreats coming up down the line, which are about being fully human and fully divine, and how, if we're going to live the truth of this, we cannot leave either side of that out. Yeah, in the exploration of truth, neither side can be left out. I think for me that's the core message that I wanted to share today.